When the Americans faced the Tiger II tank in World War II from Germany, they knew they had to come up with a tank that could really defeat them on the battlefield. They tried to do that with the M26 Pershing, but there was a very big shock through the waves of the US Army when the Russian Army showed the IS-3 at victory parades in Berlin. And they knew they had to come up with tanks that were capable of defeating those Russian heavies at long range. Enter the T-34, which is in Blitz as well, and this eventually evolved in the M103, mounting a very big 120mm gun. This was the last of the true heavy American tanks. They were later replaced by main battle tanks because having that thick armor, it just came to an end. It just wasn't possible anymore to fit it to tanks. That said, this tank is a fairly solid one in Blitz. We have a full bells and whistles review for you, ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe. And we are starting off the festivities, as you can see, on Desert Sands, where we are going on the flank. This is a tier 9 game. And we're driving on the flank. Why? Because I'm a mobile tank. This is not a true heavy, it's a heavier. It can perform pretty well in terms of driving together with the mediums, providing some fire support with your 120mm gun. Your 400 average alpha will show you all the statistics in the game later. And you can also see that most of the armor is in the front of the tank. So hull down is the name of the game, as is pretty much on course with most of the American heavy tanks in the line, but even more so with this one. You can see fairly good accuracy on the gun as well. I can bend the sides of that IS-8 turret fairly easily. I bounce a shot on the top of that IS-6. That's unfortunate, but you can see what I'm doing here. I'm driving around trying to sit in this depression here to show as little of my tank as possible, and if I show anything, I really want to show only the front of the tank. As soon as I'm firing shots into the depression underneath the bridge, I'm turning the front of my turret towards the enemy. I bounce a 640 alpha shot from that object 704. And in a nutshell, this is how you have to play the game, how you have to play it in the M103. If you want to look on, if you want to see the statistics, the armor profile and some more games, including an ace game, please keep on watching this video. If not, it's a solid tank, hull down, face front, shoot reds. That's the summary for today. Reds are pushing hard. They're trying to capture this position. The Conqueror and the IS-8 are over here. They're pushing on towards my right side. And you can see while I was driving into this depression, trying to get a better position, that I was not facing the front of my turret towards the enemies on the train tracks. I had already seen from the minimap that it was pretty safe to do so. There is an IS-8 over here. I am risking being shot in the side of the turret or in the back, but I wanted to get that IS-8 out. Loading HE onto the waffle because I have a 120mm gun, which gives me, well, solid HE penetration values and damage values. This one goes into the girders of the bridge. That's a bit unfortunate, but we're quick. We can just drive down, chase this waffle, facing front, face hugging a bit, and finish him off. There we go. Thank you very much for joining in. Object 704 gets killed by the waffle tractor, our waffle, and this is an American gun. It is not a snapshot gun, but it's a good long-range gun that allows you to do shots like this because it has good muzzle velocity. We'll show you that in a second in the stats and numbers page. But this was a, well, fairly simple game. Just hold the position, go hull down, use your gun, make it work. 400 alpha per shot, and that gives us just shy of 4K, 4.2K, first class, high caliber medal and a Confederate. That means we have shot 6 tanks. We've managed to kill 2 of them, and this is what you can do in a tank. No problem about that. We will show more games, but first off, into the statistics and the numbers. So here we are on the tank statistics page of blitzstars.com. M103 at the front, obviously, and having the AMX over here from France, German VK 4502P Ausführung B, the E75, the Conqueror, the STI and the IS-8. Looking at all the statistics, I've mentioned already that the gun is the thing to work with the M103, and except for the Conqueror and only just the IS-8, it has a very good DPM, third in class, 258 penetration on AP, 400 alpha, very nice solid gun, about on par with most of the tanks here. The Germans get a bit of a better gun, the Russians 420 alpha just a bit better, and the Conqueror and the AMX both have 400 as well. Caliber is 120, about on par with the rest, and it has a fairly good muzzle velocity, making it a bit better for snapshotting than, say, the VK or the E75. If you switch to heat, you lose some of your penetration possibilities, because yes, you do 340, but it's heat, so it gets eaten by spaced armor. It's something to watch out for, and in that regard the AMX and the Conqueror and the E75 and the VK are in advantageous positions. Weapon handling. It's not as good as the Conqueror, but it's far better than the Germans and the Russians, as you can see. And it was actually surprising to me to find out that the IS-8 was a far more stable gun platform than the M103, because it doesn't really feel like. You can see most of the tanks do it better than the M103. Also in terms of gun depression, it's -8. The IS-8 has the worst, -5. But overall the gun felt better and worked better in my opinion than the statistics over here should suggest. Same goes for the top speed, which is fairly low. Only the VK is lower at 30. The AMX and the IS-8 are far quicker, and even the STI is quicker at 40 kilometers per hour. But the M103 picks up pretty quick, having a good power to weight ratio. So yeah, it's a good solid tank. Taking a look over here, hull armor 203 millimeters. Don't take that as for granted, because it's just the beak, the strip at the front where the top glasses and lower glasses are joined. Sides and rear, yeah, non-existent really. You can side scrape a bit with the tracks. We'll take a look at that in Armour Inspector in a few seconds. But you have to go hull down, you have to face front 9 out of 10 times, otherwise you will be penned. I have a few very good examples of how to play the tank and how to side scrape a bit. But as you can see also from the statistics page, from the win rate, it is a hard tank to play, and all in all I think it's pretty much the same type of tank that the IS-8 is. It is one to accompany the medium tanks, to give firepower for your quicker tanks, and preferably use it at long range. Use the VK, the E75, the SCI more in the front line. This one is best played a bit at a distance, and some very good examples will be shown in the games to come. And so here we have the M103 and Armour Inspector. Let's take a look at all the modules and on the armor plating. You can see it's the biggest bits of armor, the thickest parts are on the mantlet, and this was the beak I mentioned, 203. That doesn't mean the frontal hull has 203 all round. On the top it's a lower 127, and the lower glass display is only 114, but if you angle it, it's a lot better. Taking a look at it from the perspective of the Death Star, you can see if you get it hull down like this, use the maximum gun depression like this, you will be able to bounce shots on the sides of your turret with a bit of luck, but mostly on the gun mantlet and also on the front plate. Of course, tier 10 tank destroyers aren't the tank you will want to face on a regular basis, so let's take a look at the mediums. The Scent Mark 7/1 has the best penetration for a medium on its APCR on the standards round, 255. And you can see that's a lot of bounce as well. Wiggle around a bit, drive up and down slopes, but try to keep as much of the hull hidden as possible, because the sides, yeah, everything will go straight through. Side scraping, not much of an option, because it is very easy to over angle, but you can catch a few shots on the sides, and you will want to drive the tank with the gun in between the tracks left and right as much as possible. One thing to watch out for is your engine deck. It is very vulnerable to HE rounds, and you have in your turrets some very big MRX. There they are. If you get shot over there, you will have a bit of a problem, and I think that's the biggest problem of this tank. Is it's just a large profile. Let's take a look, for example, at the tier 8 tank, the T32, which precedes it. This is the T34, the premium one. This is the T32. There we go. You can see far smaller, far smaller profile. This one can go hold on as well. So you have to get used to a far bigger turret on the tank as opposed to driving the T32, which is more of a logical successor to the T29 at tier 7. And that said, almost on upwards into some more gameplay using the tier 9 one, the M103. Let's go! And despite us having 2 heavies, I wanted to go onto the hill here on Middleburg. This is a fairly good position for an M103, for any heavy tank, American heavy tank for that matter. There were no tanks spotted. The Reds have 2 mediums and a light tank, the T49. I was being quite aggressive, hoping to get some spots in on heavies or other tanks leaving the town. That didn't materialize. The T49 is there, that's why I am stopping over here, and the T49 manages to shoot our T49, and that's a bit alarming because they are pushing on the flank, but I can hold the line over here. You can see 210 alpha going through. That is probably a heat shot then from the PTA, I think. We can shoot the AMX 50 over here, switching to a high explosive on the sides of the AMX. This is a very good position. It's a 4.7k damage game, another first class one on Middleburg, and yeah, it may not be the most exciting one in terms of damage and gameplay, but you can see in a second or so why you have to play this tank carefully. Because your sights are, like said in the Armour Inspector views, quite open. I don't think this is a tank for really the beginners, especially the M103. I did struggle a lot when I was driving it originally on my account. I found the T29 and T32 to be more straightforward in terms of playing than this one. But if you open up your sights too much, like this, then you get smacked for a total of about 1k. And that's not how you want to play it. That's why I'm also moving away. There's still a full health IS-3. I can see on my left that our flank is falling. We do have the tanks still available, but we don't have the hit points, and I want to protect myself from the IS-3. I have a Pershing with me on my right side. I'm being shot at. That's obvious from the shell burst into the ground. There's a fairly full of T54 over there, T34 down below. We have a PTA at full health. We can land a shot into him. Thank you very much. And now it's time to worry about the IS-3. And this is also one thing I've said it before on a few of the maps. Be map aware and just take shots where available. You do have a good engine power to weight ratio that helps in climbing small rises and hills like this. I think this wouldn't have been possible in the ST, for example, in the E75. Would have been possible in the IS-8, but also very much in the M103, and luckily we shoot this IS-3 and then track him into place. Pershing finishes off, and now we can start worrying about this one, the T54. There we have a PTA down there, and there we go. We can shoot him once, drive back into cover. Like I said, not the most exciting gameplay, but it was actually the first match I did when revisiting this tank, so I was pretty chuffed doing 4.7k damage. And it's not the most exciting one. I have some small examples of how you can go hold down in it after this one. And also what you have to do, just keep facing the front. We have a lost game at Canyon as well in the video that shows you how you can side scrape. But this is how you can play the game in the M103 as a supporting tank. Good solid 400 alpha, like I said. And I'm also being very wary of driving in. I know that AMX is still there, but I am a one-shot to him. Centurion manages to finish off. But all in all, pretty solid game, pretty much in a supporting role, using it from long range. And yeah, it's how the tank was designed. It was designed as a counterpart to the IS-3, the T-10, using it at long range. The IS-3 was more of a breakthrough tank, and the Americans had good guns, but they wanted to have a tank that was able to be transported from the USA towards Europe fairly easily, so they used that frontal elliptical shaped hull. And that allowed them to not lose any armor protection, but lose some weight, and that's also important in the tank, having a tank that is lighter. And that frontal armor is going to be shown at in some very good shots over here. One on Middleburg, and the next one is going to be on Vineyards. You can see 132 left, that is one shot from the grill, no problem whatsoever. He's coming for me, I'm facing front, and I bounce on my turret or on my frontal hull, I don't know. But he bounces, so that's 640 blocked. Here we go, HE shot through the front, and I was expecting to die anyways, but there we go, another 640 alpha blocked, thank you very much. And if you go well and truly hold down, you can do stuff like this as well. This one goes through, I shoot the AMX, I drive back, 310 blocked, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you very much. This is what you can do if you are well and truly held on, and if you manage to hide those weak spots. There are weak spots on the left and the right side of the gun as well. I haven't shown them in proper detail or mentioned them in proper detail in the armor inspector views, but they are there. If you ever face a M103 head on, shoot it on the left or the right side of the gun with APCR. AP might go through with a few tanks, heat will obviously go through, but shoot it over there and you will be able to penetrate him if he is hull down. HE can of course be used as well, doing some splash damage, but those are weak spots. That means you can't really keep the gun just pointed at an enemy and expect to bounce all the shots. Up next, like I mentioned, we have a lost game at Canyon. This is the lost game, but I'm including it anyways to show how to play the tank in a tier 10 game and how to play this tank in a hold down position where you might not expect it to be hold down. There's a bit of side scraping in it over here. Good gameplay on my part if I am allowed to flag my own parade and just give myself a pat on the shoulder. You can see driving backwards, hold down. It doesn't always have to be a very big ridge where you are behind. You can always go hold down, and we are shooting the pattern somewhere. I think that shot bounced. That's a bit unfortunate, but you can see I'm trying to find shots into that Jagdpanzer. No, not available. Hello pattern, there you are again. I can go straight through you. He shoots into the buildings, and I already know, using the mobility to relocate, that T-54 is coming up on my right side, and so is the pattern. So can I shoot someone? No, not available. 2 tanks of my team are down. It's unfortunate. Hello pattern, there you are again. 406, and he bounces one off my front. He's using APCR. That one goes through from the T-54, and I'm a bit in a tough spot, really, caught between a rock and a hard place, but I can shoot the T-54 again now. I'm turning quickly. He's shooting heat, he bounces on my front, and here we go into side scraping a bit, turning on the spot, using mobility just in time to side scrape that one out, and the T-54 manages to do the same. There we go. I can shoot his tracks, and that means I have put him into place, and I know that pattern is moving in. He will be coming from my right. No, he is not. He's coming from my left. I can take him out. Thank you very much. And can we bounce another shot from the T-54? No, overangle my sights, and that one goes through my drive wheel. In the meantime, my team is dying left, right, and dead center at an alarming rate. That's very unfortunate. But we do manage to take the pattern out. We do manage to take the T-54 out. We get shot, I think, from the FV. And that's a bit unfortunate because that's causing me some more hit points, which I would have liked to save. And you can see there's a PTA down there together with a Jagdpanzer E100 and a Kampfpanzer 70 and a Death Star. So he's not going to hold out very long, which means I have to kill 4 enemies now. Luckily I know the map slightly well, so I can shoot the Death Star, then I can side scrape slightly at a distance to the FV4202. He's popping up over there. Thank you. There you are. Quick snapshot. Lucky with the RNG, but I managed to take him out anyways. And if it had been only the Jagdpanzer E100, then I would have been able to win this game. But there's still a full health Kampfpanzer 70 over there. He manages to land a very nice 600 roll, but we bounced a 1600 HE shot from the Jagdpanzer E100. Thank you, turret armor, frontal armor. This guy played a pretty impressive game, saving it hit points up to the last, driving in at the right time, shooting reds at the right time, because he'd done about just the same damage, I think. Fairly good player. But upon seeing the screen over here, yeah, if you managed to do 4 kills, it wasn't a high caliber, but just shy of 4k, and your team doing 5 in total, that's a bit annoying. Nevertheless, I wanted to include the game to show you how you can side scrape in it and what you can do if you get brawled, but it also showed that if you are out in the open with this tank with not too much in terms of cover to your left and your right and your rear, you're going to have a problem. You will want to have this hull down. I can't state it enough. You will want to keep it at a distance as much as possible, because it doesn't allow your teammate or the reds to shoot your weak spots. This is a very nice shot, by the way, on the T54. Quick snapshot. Won't call it the award-winning shot, but it does help me to make it a bit easier in the end of the game. Because we are one tank down, it is supremacy. I can roll in now on base B. You can see facing front, turning the front of the tank into the building, side scraping out, reloading the gun while in cover, capturing the B base. This is a bit too quick, this shot, making it land into the ground, so I'm not killing the T-34, and that is annoying. Reds are capturing A. I can see there's already one tank down of our team. I know I can shoot that IS-8 over here. I drive back just in time. He can't shoot me back. Reds are still capturing A, and we are 2 tanks down now. There we go. Nice bounce. Thank you very much. We are 2 tanks down. That means that 54 is somewhere on the loose. And that also means I have to keep an eye out on my back. I'm trying to drive away to shoot the waffle. He is not available for me to shoot at, so I kill the T-34 while he is there. We are 2 tanks. 2 tanks killed, both for our team and for the red team. No shot available on the IS-8. Slowly moving forward. I'm a bit cautious of that waffle over there. So yeah, I'm slightly vampiring and being an arsehole and not shooting tanks. And this is where I wanted to go hull down. Why did I want to go over here? Because this would allow me to get shots in on that IS-8. I wanted to get him out. If I had stayed behind the buildings, then I wouldn't have been able to take him out. I'm a bit lucky in taking this IS-8 out, but this is a, well, creative hold down position. I knew I could take him out over there. I'm protecting my back and my sides now from the waffle and from the E75, turning the front towards the waffle tractor. And I know that T-54 is there because he managed to capture base C. The T-54 kills the AMX 5100. I've taken a look at the minimap. I know he is coming over there. I'm not in time to kill him or bounce a shot on my tracks. He shoots me. But you can see I'm driving in on him. I'm brawling him a bit now. Sorry for the lack of sound. For some reason or other, I don't know why. The game started lagging. So I had to cut the sound over here because it just wasn't in sync with everything shown on the screen. I'm staying here. The waffle is available. We load a B. We load HE. Can we shoot him? Can we shoot him in time? He's somewhere over there. Aiming, aiming, aiming. He should be there. Shooting anyways. I can't see a shell burst, so probably connected. And in a second we will see that shot connected. I have no problems letting the Jagd Tiger move in now. Why would I risk my hit points? The IS-8 on the left, he's going to risk his hit points. This shot goes over the waffle. That's unfortunate. Loading adrenaline in anyways because I want to get the kill. There we go, 1100 left on him. I can shoot the waffle again for a low roll on AP 397. That's unfortunate. So I was thinking, oh well, we got a first class and that's good. But the Jagdtiger decides to shoot HE into the tracks. The IS-8 gets killed because he rushes in too quickly, and I managed to get the Redley Walters 5 kills anyways. And this was an ace game. Not a very exciting game, but it showed, in my opinion, how you have to play the tank. A bit of side scraping in it, a bit of hold down, a bit of driving into position to get tank shots, long range fire. It's not a really good frontline heavy in terms of holding a line, but it can be very effective if you play it to its strengths. That's all for today, ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe. I thank you all, cheers and happy tanking!